I've even missed the music. I've missed the music. I've missed everything. I've missed everything, guys. Hello, welcome YouTube to this next episode of FPL Family. I was never sure when we were going to get back, but we are back. Football's back on the 17th of June. All right, it's behind closed doors. There's going to be potentially trophies with asterisks next to them. I don't know, but listen.
No, it won't be an asterisk now.
Well,
you'll actually win it now.
Look, we'll talk about the asterisk later on. We'll
There's
talk about
that
later on. But nevertheless, guys, we're back. We are back. We've missed you like crazy, and I know that we put a little bit of content out.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. We very much pressed the pause button, haven't we? But we put a little bit of content out.
In my deathbed for a while.
Yeah, well, got over that. Got over that.
It was like there wasn't anything to talk about because there was nothing coming out of anywhere.
Yeah.
No news agencies. By the time I felt better, nobody was talking about football.
Unless you wanted to hear about how our homeschooling is going. And by the way, our daughter right now, I said this on the Planet FPL 24-hour stream, which if you guys haven't seen that, Susan James did such a great job raising money for charity.
You've got
absolutely
24 hours of your life.
If you've got a spare day, they've got 6 YouTube videos you can watch. But I said on there that Evie, our 4-year-old, she now knows all the 20 Premier League badges. If you point at the badges, she'll tell you who they are.
That's the one.
4 years old.
So in the last 10 weeks of homeschooling, that is the one thing that Lee has taught our 4-year-old.
I think I also taught them how to make paper airplanes. Thank you very much.
Okay. You taught them how to make paper aeroplanes, and you've taught Evie to name all the Premier League badges.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes, guys, welcome back to FPL Family. I'm Lee, this is Sam. If you're new around here, if this is your first ever FPL Family live stream, where have you been? Welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. And for those of you that are regulars here to FPL Family, you will notice that Sam doesn't have a cup of tea.
Oh, it's too hot.
It's
too hot. I'm on the vodka.
Talk through what you have here, because I'm intrigued.
So I don't really know what's happened to us, because I don't think I've ever done a family stream without my pink Spurs mug.
This is a first.
And a cup of tea.
We are breaking new ground here tonight.
Not only have I not got a cup of tea, but I'm doing the thing that I really never do, and I'm drinking vodka.
Something about, I don't know, the sun being out today and just being like,
do you know what it is?
In a few months worth of lockdown
It's the fact that the baby goes back to nursery tomorrow.
It's a back to school day tomorrow, isn't it?
Back to school tomorrow.
And by the way, I've never seen vodka that colour. What is that? That's not...
It's blue vodka. It's pineapple flavoured vodka.
Right.
It's pineapple and tropical fruit vodka.
Go and get the bottle from the kitchen. Right. Go and show the guys what it is you're drinking. Meanwhile, I thought I'd have a little punk IPA tonight. I'm quite excited to drink that. I haven't had a drink for a long time, to be fair. Don't know about you guys, but in lockdown I was like, right, that's it. I'm not going out. I'm not out with work. I'm not out with my mates, so that's it. No need to have a beer. 1 or 2 in the garden, but that's it. Today, though, is an exception. You've gone for the taboo. What is this? Anybody...
Other brands of vodka are available.
Anybody in the live chat now has even heard of this ridiculous liqueur.
I mean, I've drunk quite a lot of it today.
What even is it? Taboo, pineapple...
Pineapple and tropical fruit juices.
Wow.
I mean, to be clear, just so you all don't think I'm actually mental, although to be fair, you will be right.
Most of them think that you're kind of classy, sort of Prosecco kind of girl.
Well,
no, clearly not. You're a taboo vodka.
No, I am usually, aren't I? I normally have a Prosecco. But actually what I really wanted today was a glass of Pimm's. And we went...
Oh, Pimm's anywhere?
Everywhere to try and get some Pimm's. Like, we went up to our local shops and there's like 4 different places where you could buy Pimm's.
Jamie Taylor saying it looks like a VK Blue. It does look like a VK Blue.
It isn't. It's pineapple vodka now. I love pineapple.
VK Blue. When was the last time you were... In years? How many years ago was a VK Blue? That's got to be 20 years for me. No, 18.
It's probably about the time we got together.
That's probably about right.
But yeah, so no, I don't normally drink, unless it's Prosecco, which I do like a glass of that, or a Pimm's on a hot day, but couldn't get any of that. But I do like a vodka.
Well, clearly. I mean, any brand of vodka will do. Even a pineapple taboo.
I love pineapple.
Well, so there we go. So for everybody that's used to tuning into FPL Family, this is all par for the course. If you're brand new around here expecting some FPL content, we will get there eventually once we've got through the vodka and the beer talk. But what are we going to talk about tonight? Obviously, we've got Project Restart coming up. Yes. The football's coming back on the 17th of June. We've got to talk about... I guess we've got to talk about the fixtures. it has been confirmed now that there's going to be a double game week. So game week 39, which I think we're calling it.
It will be called 39, yeah.
Weird as that sounds, game week 39, because the announcement that official FPL put out there was words to the effect of, and I should have come up with a screen grab, guys, I apologise, but it was words to the effect of, we will now have additional. I think they used the word additional game weeks to run the rest of the season.
I mean, the way that the game is set up, the game weeks that existed have been completed. That's why we could make transfers over the last however many weeks it's now been.
Yeah, the game has been live.
So the game has been live. We've seen the game weeks come and go. All right, there's been 0 footballs kicked, but the game weeks happened, and because of the way that the game is built, that had to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, there will just be additional game weeks added on at the end.
It's closed right now, though, right?
It's still closed.
It tells you how long I haven't logged into FPL.
It's still closed at the moment because we haven't had an official fixture list.
Yeah.
And given that it was only really yesterday that the government came out and said, yes, officially, football can go.
Yeah.
Sport can go.
They're back in contact training now and what have you. Yeah.
I would expect that over the next week or so we'll get some more official updates from official FPL about the game, and we live on the assumption that given that they're talking about playing those 2 additional games as part of this first double game week at the beginning, so the 2 fixtures that were postponed from way back, particularly that Manchester City and Arsenal game, which was the first one we lost due to COVID issues.
So remind the guys of who we think has got a double game week 39. Let's go with that as a concept. Okay. Double game week 39.
So we know that Aston Villa and Sheffield United will play a double for their League Cup final that Aston Villa played.
Yes. Yeah.
And obviously then in the same vein, Manchester City and Arsenal.
Yeah.
So we know that that's the case. We are awaiting for kind of confirmation that I am expecting, I think we all are in the FPL community, expecting them to just say, all right, fixtures as were. So game week 39 will be the first round of fixtures that they missed, but we haven't had confirmation of that yet. So be interesting to see, because that throws up some nice doubles.
Yeah, so let me talk.
Some clubs.
Let me just talk you through those at a very high level. So Aston Villa would have Sheffield United at home and then Chelsea at home. So 2 home games for Villa. Sheffield United would be away at Villa. But then they're also away at Newcastle, so kind of 2 tricky. I say tricky. What am I basing that on?
I'm not sure.
What am I basing that on? Not form or anything, really.
So, and also, let's be honest. Does home and away matter anymore? Because
no. Yeah, you're right.
There's no crowds. There's no fans. So you're just playing in an empty stadium. And if we look at the Bundesliga results, actually, home teams have done worse since the restart. There's been less home wins than there would have been previously when there were fans.
Yeah.
So actually what we've seen is that more home clubs have drawn than you would expect. So does the home and away thing actually matter to us anymore? Well, it's something to consider, of course, but I don't think we need to put as much weight into it as we would have done 6 months ago.
All right. Well, listen, so that's those fixtures. Then City and Arsenal. So City, obviously, home to Arsenal. City, home to Burnley. So in any other FPL universe, that is a nice-looking double for Manchester City. And then Arsenal, obviously, away at City, and then away at Brighton. So again, we don't really count this home and away thing, but they've got a game against City and a game against Brighton. So those are the 4: Villa, Sheffield United, City and Arsenal. We'll talk a bit more later on about the fixtures as we expect them to be in double game week 39. Very difficult for us to talk about form. Very difficult for us to talk about even individual players. I mean, we will have a look, guys. We'll look back at what our teams looked like in game week, I want to say 28. What was the last game week we played? 28, 29? Whenever it was the last game week, what our teams looked like. And I put a tweet out there the other day, maybe yesterday, to say, all right, without looking, see if you can name your 15. And I could do 5. And then I looked at it and I've got like Sarr and Saka from Arsenal. I was like, what was I thinking?
Well, because they had a double.
But,
so we all were like, that. If you remember, that was the game week where the Man City game was on, then it was off because of the weather. Then we had the on and off because of COVID and Arteta. And so all of a sudden we were all kind of going, shall I spend... I remember saying to you, shall I spend 4 points and get... who was I going to get? One of the extra... Saka. It was Saka.
Probably Saka,
I'd done Aubameyang. I was like, shall I spend 4 points for Saka? And in the end I didn't. Thank God I didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then of course, actually what's happened over the last few weeks for the majority of us is that you've kind of tinkered a little bit because you've had these free transfers that,
Remember, this is just the intro.
I know, but
We'll get to all this. We'll get to this. Just the intro, guys. Just the intro.
Isn't it great?
But it is good. I'm quite excited to be back.
Again.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back. That's why this is a ridiculously elongated intro.
Hello, yeah.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. So yes, we are going to look back at our teams. Jesus. We are going to look back at our teams. I'm going to kind of break down the Premier League table a little bit as well and look at who's fighting relegation. Who's obviously, I think we kind of know what the top 4/6 looks like, but I've completely plagiarised a graphic from the Sky Sports Twitter feed where they looked at teams that are battling for the top 6 and how many fellow top 6s they've got to play and how many relegation battlers they've got to play. And that got me thinking about why Sky would have put a graphic together like that focuses on those two groups of teams. Well, that's because this middle layer, this kind of mid-section of the Premier League, what are these teams, the Crystal Palaces, the Evertons of the league, must be coming back into this thinking, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? No fans, no home away. Nothing to play for. Maybe potentially, and this is a whole nother podcast about, am I putting myself and my family at risk? There's all this going into why would I even be playing?
And normally at this time of year with the mid-table clubs, you would say that, there's certain individuals that will be looking for a transfer. Well, the way the world is right now, if there is a transfer window, which I imagine there will be in some guys, will there actually be any movement in the transfer windows? Because these clubs don't have any money coming in. So, they're spending a fortune, but can they afford to buy these new players? So that opens up a whole new dimension to whether you want to pick any of these players at all.
Yeah. So there we go, guys. Loads to discuss, but the main thing that I want to do is say hello to you guys that are in. So let's get back over here and have a look and see who is in. So Azzy is here. Azzy, welcome back. How are you doing? KDB has come back a little bit overweight at the moment. You ain't wrong, Azzy. I mean,
Can we call KDB overweight?
Yes, you can. If you've seen the picture on Twitter of him, he's got a little. He looks like he's had a really jolly good time on lockdown. To be honest with you, I don't know whether the angle might be a bit iffy, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He is an elite athlete at the end of the day, but he is looking a little bit porky.
I mean, the camera adds a lot of weight.
Well, listen, it's not just him, by the way. A certain Mr. Harry Kane looks a little bit.
Shut up.
He does. Sam, he does.
Right. Excuse me, remember we are still locked together. Let's just be careful what you say.
Just saying, and to be honest, I would love to hear your opinion.
Lies, you are a liar. Harry Kane looking mighty fine and straight back in my FPL team as soon as the game reopens.
You're going to put him straight back in?
Of course I am! Immediately,
So predictable.
as soon as the game opens, Harry Kane, bang.
So predictable. Double game week 39.
Harry Kane
hat-trick. It's nailed on, isn't it? It's absolutely nailed on. And to be honest, and I do want to talk about this a bit later on in terms of who's coming back to play FPL. Obviously, Twitter's all excited. Obviously, everybody on the live stream's excited. We're excited. The Twitter sphere is excited. Everyone associated with FPL is excited. Is the casual player, is the common player, the majority of those 7 million, are they as excited for FPL coming back? That is a big question.
It's coming to that
and I don't know whether that is going to play into the advantage of those of us that are actually back and taking it seriously, or whether there's something there that says, well, listen, we've got naff all else to do, so might as well play FPL some of these. But I don't know. We'll have that conversation in a little while. But listen, Tracy is in. Tracy Holt, how are you doing? Tracy, former manager of the month. Tracy Holt, so
yes,
welcome.
that feels like a lifetime ago.
That seems a long time ago. We even discussed manager of the month. Never mind, did an interview with Tracy. That seems a very long time ago. Crackerjack is here. How are we doing, Crackerjack? Flynn Bradley 29. Hello guys, good to be back. Yes, very good to be back, Flynn. Very nice to see you. Charlie King, how are we doing? Very nice to see you. Glad you could make it here tonight for an FPL Family live stream. Brian Springer, who I spoke to earlier on Twitter. Brian, hello, how are you doing? Hello from Trinidad, he says. Trinidad? Yeah, we knew that actually about Brian, didn't we? Knew that. Felt like Trinidad here today. It's
I
quite
was
nice,
going to say
isn't it?
normally I would go, oh, I'm so jealous, but actually today's been so hot. I'm not sure I could cope in Trinidad.
Very, very hot, isn't it? Very, very hot. We've got friends that live in Dubai, haven't we? And they're just like, oh, it's so hot. And we're like, yeah, it's 22 degrees in Hertfordshire. It's absolutely
it's going to be
delicious.
29 here on Tuesday.
Absolutely delicious. Theo Noble is here. How are you doing? He says, sent by Let's Talk FPL. So, Andy, if you sent your guys over here, welcome.
Thanks,
if you've come
Andy.
over from Let's Talk FPL, welcome to the FPL Family live stream. The man, the myth, the absolute legend, Sam, that is... Who do you think I'm going to say?
Oh,
You're gonna upset.
No, I'm not, because I could upset.
The man, the myth, the legend. Who is in?
I don't want to say because it might upset a load of people. Why would you do
Go.
this to me? No!
Guess. Kunkaram is here.
Kunkaram.
Kunkaram.
Oh.
The man, the myth, the
And
legend.
also,
Yes.
happy birthday to you. It was his birthday about 2 days ago.
Oh, happy belated birthday, Kunkaram. Get in the chat, guys. Happy birthday, Kunkaram. Let's get a few happy birthdays going. Mark Dorney is here. Good evening, Mark.
Hey,
How
Mark.
are we doing? Post to Points is here. Not a name that we've heard before
new.
on the live stream.
Welcome.
So, Post to Points, welcome. Alex Wicks is here. One of your favourites.
Is Panda in?
Stealthy Panda.
Yes!
He says,
Hello,
Stealth
Panda.
Hi, fam. He says, hey, Panda. How
Hey,
we
Panda.
doing? How we doing? Bobby is here. Very nice to see you. Frode is here. Niraj Sharma's here. Hi, guys. He said, Garfield Rob is in. Let's see, who else have we got? Jay Rich, how are we doing? Let's talk FPL Family. Guys, welcome.
Oh, thanks,
if you've headed
Andy.
over from Andy's stream, thank you, Andy. And thank you, guys, for joining the FPL Family live stream
Welcome to the
tonight.
family.
If it is indeed your live stream, make sure you hit that subscribe and notify bell. Let's see, Tracy is... we've already said hello to Tracy. Tracy's getting a double shout out. Jatin is here. Miguel C. Neil Craston and Alex Wicks are both here. Takako03 is here. And Ashwin is here. A whole host of people in tonight. So guys,
isn't it so nice?
it's so nice to see you all. It's so nice to see you all. One of the key things I have to say right up front, and I'm sure you've had the same on Instagram, is that I want to say thank you to everybody that's stuck around.
Yeah.
Because we haven't had a massive dip in subs. We haven't had a massive dip in Twitter. We've had a few come and go on Twitter. The patrons, of course, as well. We love you, patrons that have stuck around.
Heroes.
Absolute heroes. You haven't gone, well, screw FPL.
And also,
that's
how
it,
nice
we're
have they
off.
been in the Slack? Like, I haven't had a lot to say in the Slack, but they're just still busy and they're chatting away to each other. Talking
It's like a
about
FIFA Ultimate Team chat
FIFA
going on that I can add no value to. But
virtual
it's...
FPL stuff going on, and I wasn't playing that, so I was a bit like, I can't really add any value. Just pop up and say hello every now and then. But still nice to have you.
But guys, patrons,
we'll
subscribers, Twitter followers, Instagram followers. Thank you.
And the Facebookers.
And of course the Facebookers.
Excuse me,
Yes,
send
the
the
Facebookers.
Facebook some love.
Of course, how dare I forget the Facebookers. Yes, so guys, thank you for sticking around. We love you and we appreciate you. What do we want to talk about? Where do you even want to start? Where do you want to start? I think we've got to go into... One thing I want to do is just go to here, because this is the screen that we are used to see. This is FPL Family Gold, this FPL Family Classic. And by the way, those of you that were here very early will have noticed that we had a new subscribe sting. I had a little video animation.
Lee's been busy.
Oh, I tell you. I've been very busy with the video animation.
Making cups of tea.
I was on Twitter earlier and I've made a little animation video that's got a person putting a cup of tea on the table.
Yeah, it's on Insta and Facebook.
It's like proper cheese. It's proper cheesy. And it's got our logo on it. And I think El Stato popped up and it was just like, oh, someone's been busy over that. And I was like, yeah, you damn right I have been at the video animations. So a few different video animations coming in. Going to try and just try and take the live streams to another level.
We try to professional ourselves.
Just try and be a little bit more professional, Sam. The guys can have a sip of Taboo. So unprofessional, it's unreal.
I don't know.
That's part of the charm
Right.
of FPL Family, isn't it?
To be clear, if you've just arrived, I don't normally drink vodka on the live streams. It's not common. Normally I'd be drinking my tea. Here it is. Put it away.
Yes,
I have to get another glass in a
Put
minute.
it away, goodness me. So there's our Twitter on the left-hand side. I also want to give a quick shout-out to all the Instagrammers. So here's the Instagram. Almost 4.3 followers now on Instagram, which is looking absolutely beautiful.
And to be fair, and I must send my apologies
What's
to
this
the
picture? Is that you and I in our garden?
Yeah, because I posted about how we won't be able to do this in a couple of weeks' time because we'll be just sat in front of the TV for like literally the whole day on a Saturday.
Love it.
I mean,
that's one thing, isn't it? Football is coming back. It's coming
not
back
just
with
coming
a bang.
back. It's like you missed us. Great, here you go, bang. Have
Goodness
football
me.
every 5 minutes.
It's literally back-to-back football from 12 until like 9.
Which is why
Unreal.
which is why we're coming half an hour later on a Sunday now, because obviously there's going to be a 7 o'clock game on a Sunday. We didn't want to come halfway through a game. That didn't make any sense. We can't really push back much later than 8:30. So we will just have the end of a game.
Yeah, because some people on Twitter were saying, it might be quite nice to do your live stream during the second half of matches. And I thought, well, I quite like watching the matches, especially if it's
We will be
a game where we're, getting the little asterisk. But that is lifting a trophy, Sam. You wouldn't know, being a Spurs fan, but that is lifting a trophy.
Ouch!
So we don't want to clash with any football that's going on. We don't want to clash with any football that's going on.
We will
want to be watching the second halves, but also we'll be kind of live streaming as the game
last
is
10
finishing.
minutes,
Last
it'll be
10
like
minutes or
last 10
so. So if there's any like late drama in the last game, to be honest, I think I might be done with football by the time I've watched it for 9 hours straight. I've missed it and all.
Well, so we'll have
But-
Friday night game, And then I think it's 5 games on the Saturday and 4 games on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or 4 games on the Saturday, 4 games on the Sunday, 1 game on the Monday, that's right. 1 Friday, 4 Saturday, 4 Sunday, 1 Monday, and then the others spread on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 3-3-3 or something.
Crackerjack is in. He's saying, Lee, I cannot believe you having a go at Sam about not lifting any trophies. Remember the Audi Cup? The Audi Cup.
Thanks, Crackerjack.
Audi Cup.
Absolute legend.
Do me a favour.
You are a literal legend for reminding us about the Audi Cup.
Do me a favour. Right,
in fact, I'm going to put a picture of the Audi Cup on Instagram when I get off this stream.
Cheapers. There we go. Enough about Audi Cups. Let's talk about proper football. Here is the graphic that is too small for me to have a look on my screen, so I'm going to have it on my phone here. You actually sent me this. You spotted this on Sky Sports. Must have been Instagram. Did you actually send it to me?
I text it to you.
You text it to me. Let me find it in my text. I've got it. I'm well prepared, as usual. So here it is. This is a graphic that shows, guys, those teams that are in the race for top 4. Now, there's a couple in here that...
No, shut up.
...are in the race for top...
Stop it.
Yeah,
right.
you were in. Yeah, for sure. You're in the race for top 4. And what it shows, guys, is a graphic that says...
Remember, we are locked together.
Remember that you've had too much taboo. In the race for the top 4, so what have we got here? 7 teams that Sky believe are in the race for top 4. The green bar there shows how many of the fellow top 6, or the top 6, those teams have got left to play. And the red bar suggests how many of the teams in the bottom 6 they've got left to play. So why is Sky splitting it like that? Well, we'll come to this in a minute about this middle portion of the table that have got nothing to sort of play for. We touched on it before. What's the motivation for those guys? We'll talk about that in a sec. But yes, the top 6 and the bottom 6, yeah, for sure, there's something there for those guys to play for. So therefore, having a look at who's in the race for top 4, how many of those 2 groups have these guys got to play? And I must say, makes reasonable reading for Spurs, actually, with 2 fixtures against other top 6 teams and also 2 fixtures against bottom 6 teams. Obviously not going to be easy, but compared to Chelsea that have got 7 of their remaining games against teams that care, inverted commas, Spurs are not badly placed according to that graphic. What do you make of it?
No, so this is obviously I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm going to sit here and be positive about Spurs. But genuinely, I do think that we, depending upon how things have gone in can we call it pre-season? In pre-season for game week 39, but we do have a fully fit side. For the first time since Mourinho's taken over, he has all players available. Obviously, Kane's back, Bergwijn's back.
I noticed Kane coming out on Twitter saying he's quite excited to be playing with Gedson Fernandes and Stephen Bergwijn.
Yeah, and I think there is, for the first time, we've got an opportunity for almost like the clean slate that I was hoping for with Mourinho. Like I remember saying months back, Mourinho taking over it during a season, it never felt like we were going to recover. It always felt like we were chasing our tails from the poor start that we had under, God love him, Poch. But now I kind of feel like with the break, we are a little bit more start again, I guess. And we've got a little bit of an opportunity then for the players to get back into something and fight for something. Because I don't feel like it's over.
Yeah.
I feel like top 4 is difficult, very, very difficult. But I feel like top 6 is very much on.
Asa Gallagher is saying, is Son a good option? I mean, I don't want to get into the weeds really tonight. I don't think we know enough about Project Restart and what's going to happen. I mean, we're guessing a fixture list, frankly, and we've got no form. All we've got is some videos of some players training. So I don't really want to get into the weeds of, what player is going to be good. But players like Son are those kind of naturally fit players. You've got to think. He's had an eventful lockdown, by the way, because he's been back doing military training, isn't he? So he's going to be, you'd assume, pretty fit from doing that.
Looks it.
And well rested, I would guess. I don't know. So I think maybe he is a good option.
And also spent 4 weeks in quarantine because he had to, on going out there and coming back again, and then obviously post surgery on his arm. I do think Son will be a good option. I think Spurs are a good option, and that's not just me with my Spurs hat on. I genuinely do think we've got something to play for. I think the fixtures, even without knowing the order the fixtures are going to come in, the fact that we've only got 2 clubs in the top and 2 clubs at the bottom, and one of the clubs at the top is the Arsenal derby.
Yeah. So what do you make of the red side of London then? So Arsenal, according to this graphic, 4 of each. They've got to play 4 of the top 6 and 4 of the bottom 6.
Yes.
So they've got to play 8 of their remaining 9 fixtures to go, pretty much for everybody, isn't it? Or maybe 10 for Arsenal, actually.
Yeah.
So Arsenal got 10 games left, 8 against teams that care. I'm going to keep doing this, but that's the only thing I can think to do. So 8 of their 10 games against teams that care. That's tough for them, right? But starting with a double, FPL managers will want to get on them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that the clubs, it's the same at this point every year, isn't it? You look at which clubs have got something to fight for, and those are the ones that you want to get on as FPL assets. Now, this year it's slightly different because obviously we've got this total kind of the health issue and the general world issue to contend with as well, and then maybe lack of transfer window activity and putting yourself on the market list to go by as well. But when you look at Spurs and Arsenal on that graphic, and some of the other clubs that have got less teams to play against in those two key areas of the table, it does suggest actually that the Arsenal assets might be a bit more difficult. Now, the other thing with Arsenal assets that we saw prior to lockdown, it was very limited in terms of who you would want from Arsenal.
Aubameyang or nothing, really. I mean, we were looking at Saka, some of us, right?
Yeah, but and I know that Andy was talking about having got Leno, you know, because it's a double keeper and all of that malarkey, and I can kind of see the appeal of that. But Arsenal defensively very weak prior to lockdown. Now, obviously, masses are going to change in that time, but fundamentally, Arsenal haven't had a huge number of players come back from injury, so it's not like with Spurs where you've got a bolstered team again suddenly. With Arsenal, we're still talking about the same players again. I don't know. I think they're less attractive to me simply because of the importance of their fixtures for both sides. They need to win, but the players that they're playing against also need to win to either pull themselves out of the bottom or to gain themselves up at the top. So I think they're a difficult pick.
All right. Well, Andrew Martin is in. Hey, Andrew. He's saying Leno and Aubameyang for him. Okay, fair enough. Stealth Panda saying Arsenal have City first, so if they win, potentially the league can come home to where it belongs when we play Everton. So we'll get to Liverpool in just a second and what we might do with their assets. Let's see, what else are you guys saying? Alex Bridgeford is in. Hey, Alex. He's saying Pogba, Bruno, Martial, Rashford. So
yes,
Manchester United then playing one of the top 6 in their remaining 9 games, playing 4 according to the graphic of the bottom 6. Now these bottom 6 are going to be scrapping for their lives, right? But they are at that end of the league for a reason. How are you feeling about Manchester United assets right now? In particular, Mr. Rashford, I think is a nice pick.
Yeah, I do too. I think for me, I would bracket Manchester United in the same pot as I would Spurs in terms of fixtures look favourable. Playing less of those top 6, you would think that with players like Rashford, Bruno, who was unbelievable prior to the COVID.
That's the one thing I remember the most about
just Bruno.
When FPL stopped was like how much Bruno was coming to the fore as a player, and I mean a proper player.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when we have a look at my team in a minute, I think I had the captain's armband on him for some reason, or he's for sure in the starting 11. So I think most FPL managers will be looking to get him back in. But would you go double then with Martial or with Rashford?
Fernandes and Rashford, I'd probably go.
Sorry, Fernandes and one of those two.
Yeah, I think so. I think that looks like a really obvious choice, and that's definitely something that I'll be looking to do. I know that one of the transfers I did make during the free was to bring in Fernandes because I didn't have him before.
So you did actually use some of those transfers while we were in lockdown?
Not very many, but I used a couple of, basically because I wasn't sure what I wanted, and I've got my chips and stuff, so I was kind of like, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but what I did know is that I wanted Bruno, and I felt like it was essential that I had him. So regardless of whether I free hitted or wildcarded or whatever at the end of this period, I knew that I wanted to have him, and so therefore it made sense to use one of those frees to get him in. I think Man United look great.
Okay, Jack N is in. How are we doing, Jack? Looks like he's a United fan. He's saying, haven't seen too many people talking about United defensive options, though. We're looking solid this year. Nice fixtures. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, both good options. Anybody taking your fancy back there at the United backline? I think they had got to a point where they'd shored themselves up a little bit at the back, but
I don't think I want a treble. I think that's the thing for me.
Yeah, treble United feels a bit too much.
I've got Fernandes. I want to look at Rashford.
Pogba?
Oh, I don't know if I ever trust Pogba again. But I don't... let's see about... I don't think you can go Pogba, can you? Not straight away.
Do you know what? I think he's going to be popular simply because I think a lot of players that are going to be coming back to FPL are going to do one or two things. They're either going to be casual players that are playing it just for a bit of fun. We know what the global fan base is like for United, and they'll just be like, oh, Pogba's in training. If Pogba starts in that first game, or there's pictures in training, there'll be a massive bandwagon for him. And even those that are playing seriously, like we do, are taking FPL seriously this year because you're still up in the.
Where even am I?
You're still up here hovering around in the top 10k, madam. So you're doing very, very well.
Where am I?
So have a look at your overall rank. So there will be players that take the game seriously that will be looking at him as a bit of a differential potentially, because no one will have Pogba right now. Literally no one. So for me, I think he's way too much of a risk. Way too much of a risk. But I can see why people might want to have a look at him.
4,529.
Oh, 4K. 4K. It's getting, so you do need to take this seriously. And to be honest, I was going to say with a lot of the casual players maybe not coming back to it, that could rise, but I would guess that most of the people above you are not casual.
They're not casual at that end. I think for me, look, I'm not saying I don't think the Manchester United defence is a good idea. Let's wait till the fixture list comes out and just see which order they come in.
Okay.
But I think for me, the priority on them would be the attacking assets.
Okay. Neil Craston is saying Pogba playing for a move away potentially. Yeah.
So it brings that transfer window thing back up again, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then Tracy pops up with just Pogba ... never. Just not even going there.
Tracy, you made me laugh because that's our daughter's favourite word at the moment, isn't it?
Never.
Do you want something to eat? Never.
Yeah, never. She just goes never. Everything.
Do you want to do this? Never. Okay.
So there we go. That's the guys that are in the race for the top 4. Here are the guys that are down in the dumps. So Brighton, West Ham, Watford, Bournemouth, Aston Villa and Norwich. And the one that I particularly want to talk about is Aston Villa. So going into game week 39, going to have the double. 2 home games. I'm doing this a lot, aren't I? What is this? 2 home games, or at least home on paper. Let me just remind myself who they're up against. They've got Aston Villa, obviously, are at home to Sheffield United, but they are also at home to Chelsea. So Sheffield United, Chelsea, not 2 walkover teams, right?
No.
But Villa are down there. They need the points.
And we know that Dean Henderson is staying at Sheffield United now. That's been done.
Yeah.
So he can stay till the end of the season. Man United have agreed that. So they are not going to be easy to score against. Aston Villa weren't great before. It was all about Grealish, really, wasn't it?
You got any Villa in your team? We should look at our teams in a minute.
I don't think I've got any. I don't, because I didn't have Grealish.
I had Grealish for a while, but I don't think he's got
thing, didn't I, with Grealish? I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not having Grealish. It's all about Grealish, and I don't.
Because I had him, you didn't get him.
Well, it was all. I just didn't really trust him, and I didn't. Well, it's not him really. It was I didn't trust Villa as a package, and I certainly don't think that those 2 double game week fixtures are favourable enough that I want to get any of them.
Okay. Jovial's in the chat. He's saying John McGinn is back,
Oh,
and Mark Dorn is
McGinn!
saying, is McGinn back?
I forgot about McGinn.
I actually didn't. I don't know, but if Jovial's saying McGinn is back, I'll go with you.
Hello.
Francis Logan is saying, is McGinn back? As he pops up, John McGinn is back.
Yes.
John McGinn?
Yes. Yes, if McGinn's back, I'm all aboard the McGinn
That's the
train.
taboo talking.
Hello, John McGinn. Why can't I make a transfer now?
That's the taboo talking, John McGinn. Goodness me.
No,
So,
how good was he for me at the beginning of the season? That's why I'm at 4K.
he was good. Yes, he was good. Yeah, he was good. Clacko's in. He's saying Villa's fixtures are shocking though. They are pretty difficult.
Poor,
they are difficult. Greg's in. Greg Football TV. Hey, Greg. He's in with a super chat. He's saying, "Hi guys. Are you enjoying the Bundesliga?" Now, just a word on the Bundesliga before we go back to the relegation candidates. I am enjoying the Bundesliga.
It's weird, isn't it?
I am enjoying it, and I'm particularly enjoying the ruthlessness of the teams at the top. I mean, there was a game today. How bad is this? I couldn't even tell you the team that was at home. Begin with P. But anyway, they were up against Dortmund. So Dortmund were away. I guess it was away. I don't think
they are
they're
playing.
neutral venues,
They
right?
are playing home and away.
So Dortmund were away. 0-0 at half time. And I think Sancho got a second half hat trick, 6-1, maybe might have been even more, but I think it finished 6-1 at full time. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. That shows you that I think we're going to see a lot of that in the Premier League once we get Project Restart up and going. I think we're going to see a lot of that. It will be very clear very quickly which teams have used the lockdown to train, to
break the rules and go to Barnet Common.
No, but you know what I mean. To train properly, yoga, Pilates, all that sort of stuff. The stretching, keeping themselves just at that level of fitness, getting ready back into the training. The guys that are happy to be back at training versus those players and teams that just are going through the motions for the rest of the season. And I think we're going to see a lot of that. I can foresee a few games where we get some massive scores from
9-1.
Well, maybe not a 9-1, but I can see big scores from teams like, I don't know, United, Liverpool, City. I can see big scores from these guys because, all right, maybe Spurs as well. I don't know.
Kane with 6, that'll send you down.
Goodness
Imagine
me.
if Kane gets me 6.
You're not going anywhere near that stuff ever again. Goodness me.
Imagine if Kane got 6 goals. How high would I go up the ranking?
Right.
No one else can own him.
Maybe you want to address the question.
I actually really... So I can honestly sit here and say that I don't think...
Pandaborn, thank you, Josh. Hello, Josh, by the way.
I don't think... Hey, Josh. I don't think I have ever, prior to about 3 weeks ago, watched a Bundesliga game. I don't think I've ever sat and watched one.
Well, I've watched very
I've watched
few.
bits,
I've watched very
bits
few
of it when you see it on the Sky Sports and stuff. But I don't think I've ever sat and watched the whole one. I can honestly say that Saturday when it was first back, I sat and watched
Schalke Dortmund.
Yeah, 2 games back to back, and actually it's really interesting. And what I found really interesting is watching it, because I'm watching it from a completely neutral point of view. Even with the Premier League, because of my FPL head, I'm never really completely neutral because there's always something on it. There's always a player in the game. There's always somebody that I need to do something for me. So you never watch it completely neutral. With the Bundesliga, it's completely neutral territory. I don't really care who scores, who does what. But what's been really interesting is what we can learn from it from a British point of view, from a Premier League point of view, and the lack of home wins has been key. Like I can't.
But it's that drop-off in fitness is the point I was trying to make, is the fact that you've got the Dortmunds and the Bayerns that have got just these naturally fit players that want to do well. I've got that mindset to go through the lockdown with, I'm going to keep myself physically on it. So that by the time they come back, all right, Paderborn might have done all right until half-time, but 6-1 in the second half, they just fell apart because they just didn't have the legs. I think we're going to see that in the Premier League.
With the mid-table sides?
With a lot of sides, frankly. A lot of sides. Maybe I don't know. Yes, I think, if who's to say we don't get a game like, I don't know if it's even a fixture, but say a City versus Crystal Palace, or not City because they're probably someone in the top 4, so a Spurs or a Man United against Crystal Palace, and Palace get murdered.
Can get 6.
It could happen. I genuinely think we're going to see a bit of that. I do think we're going to see a bit of that.
But we like it, is the answer to the question. We've actually been enjoying the Bundesliga.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg follows that up with another super chat. Thank you, Greg. Lee, good time to take a steal in FPL, less people. I think what he means by that is what we were alluding to before, is the fact that not as many people are going to come back to the game. So, therefore, there's a bit of a chance of your rank getting a boost if you're
so.
in that sort of area, I guess. I think you're right by saying that, Greg. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think so. I mean, I'm not sure. When it first all got announced, I was like, everyone's going to be back. I just didn't buy into this whole people won't come back, because the way that the mood is in the country at the moment, I don't know if Greg's in the UK or not, but the way that the mood is in the UK at the moment, I feel like everybody needed a lift. And I feel like that's why the Premier League is back, because the country needs it. Like, everyone's so miserable.
As long as it comes back safe and, do you know what I mean? Like,
of course.
I still got this thing in the back of my head about it's...
And they did have COVID-free, completely COVID-clear tests today, which was great.
Hasn't been in the last couple of weeks though, is it?
No,
Watford
we were
in particular,
today. Right? So hopefully that kind of continues over the next few weeks, and we get to the 17th with everyone fit and healthy and able to go. But I think the more I think about it, the more I think what we will probably see is for game week 39, we see the majority of teams that were active anyway. Not the ones that are already dead, but the ones that were active anyway. I imagine they'll be back. Yeah. What will be interesting is whether, because what we're going to have is very, very close, quick deadlines. Saturday, like the weekend, midweek, it's going to be like the game's finished and we get a next game week starting the next day. It will be interesting to see whether people make those deadlines, particularly the midweek one, because it's going to come quickly, because I think it's 6 p.m. and 8 p.m, isn't it, in the middle of the week or something like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people won't, given that the majority of people in the UK are starting to go back to work, a lot of people might not necessarily be home for that Tuesday deadline. So what we might see is that we get teams that just don't make midweek transfers because they don't make any changes to their team in midweek. And I think that could benefit the likes of us that do watch it and will be on top of those deadlines. Okay, all right. General Zod is here. How are we doing? He's saying bizarrely he's looking forward to FPL coming back, but not necessarily the actual football. Okay, that's interesting. Fair enough. Late Riser is here. Hey, Late Riser. Yeah. How are you doing? Good evening. Richard C is here. He's saying, good lockdown haircut, Lee. I take it Sam wasn't on the taboo vodka when she did it. I've cut it twice. I'm very happy with it. I've actually pretty much opened my hairdressers. I've cut the kids' hair and Lee's. It's all good. It's all right. Yeah, it's all good. Niraj buzzing that FPL's back. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Let's go quickly back to the relegation candidates. Is there anybody else on there that you're thinking, must invest? Remind me who they are. So Brighton, West Ham, Watford. And then in real trouble, Bournemouth, Aston Villa and Norwich. And of course, we've talked about Aston Villa because they've got the double upcoming. But is there anybody else in there that you're thinking, must get them? Okay, so Bournemouth's an interesting one because Ryan Fraser's out of contract at the end of this season. Okay. Been linked with Spurs, right? Been linked with Spurs and been linked with Arsenal. Apparently, Arteta's manager's been talking to him. I mean, socially distanced, I guess.
Yeah,
But so I think Ryan Fraser could be interesting because he obviously now wants to put himself out there in a market.
It's a punt though, isn't it, Ryan Fraser?
But isn't that kind of what this is about now? Like we are.
Is it?
Well, okay.
So if you're 4K, you want to consolidate and get as high as you can.
So okay.
Ryan Fraser and Harry Kane. Where's that wooden spoon trophy?
Firmly in your cabinet.
In my cabinet.
So I think okay. So this is going to go into a bit of my thinking, but in my mind, with my free hit and my wild card left to play, I'm thinking, right, 39. Don't really know what's going on with these players. Don't really know what to do with my team. But I do know that there's a double game week, and I do know that there are some players that I fancy a punt on. Harry Kane.
He's not a punt. Ryan Fraser's a punt.
Ryan Fraser comes into my next point. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I know that this is a double. I can't see there's going to be any other doubles. Where are they coming? Everyone's playing midweek, weekend. There's no FA Cup.
It's going to be like a military operation, isn't
League. There's nothing that's going to throw.
There is FA Cup.
But it's after.
Okay.
It's August. The final, isn't it? It's end of July and beginning of August. So there's not going to be any doubles, I don't think. There's therefore not going to be any blanks. So why have I got a free hit? What am I going to use it for? Why not free hit for 39? Use it to get in as many double game weekers as possible. And use it as an opportunity to look at the players that play in 39, the rest of the teams.
Okay.
And then use that to use a wild card for game week 40, where I can bring in the likes of Ryan Fraser, who starts a blinder
at
the end of game week 39.
You've obviously put some thought into this. Some of the guys are saying David Brooks is back as well, so maybe have a look at him. I don't know. Very, very good last year, and obviously very unlucky with the injury. So we've not seen much of him at all this year, to be honest. Whether he can hit the ground running again, who knows? A few guys in the live chat talking about Deeney and some of the comments he made.
Yeah, interesting one for Watford.
Going to be very interesting at Watford. Yeah, Josh is in. Hey Josh, he's saying he's got Deeney and Foster still in his team. John Tyner saying he's got Sarr and Bruno. I've got Ismaila Sarr as well in my team.
I don't think that's a bad pick.
No, I think it's probably okay. Just the comments, you know.
Should I put the light on? Are we getting really dark?
I think we're probably okay for now because the daylight is still actually not too bad.
Feels like you've gotten really dark.
No, I think it's okay. But the comments that Deeney was making, you know what Deeney's like at Watford? He is the leader, isn't he? Yeah. He's the one that calls the shots and talks on behalf of the team. And I worry that their mentality is wrong. I don't know.
Is Joe in?
I haven't seen Joe yet tonight, but I'd be interested to get his view on what he thinks of Watford coming back. So, of all those teams down there, I think Villa in the short term potentially, if you want to have a look for a couple of reasonable fixtures in the double. There's a couple of punty players at Bournemouth. There's nothing at Norwich that's making me think they're going to get miraculously out of it. Although stranger things have happened. Watford, West Ham, and Brighton.
West Ham should have the personnel to get out of that. Should have.
Yeah, maybe.
They should have the personnel to not go down. And they should have their West Ham. They should have the fight in them as well. They should. They absolutely should. Now the question is, do they have it when they've not got a full stadium? Let's see about that. But they should. They've got big enough players and a good enough squad to not be down there. West Ham are ones that I think I'll be looking at.
Okay. The guys are saying there is FA Cup quarterfinals to be played at the end of June. Yes, I thought that was the case. So,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, so your chip strategy and might have to have a little rethink of that. There will be doubles and blanks on the horizon with FA Cups going on.
Not in the same way that we would normally get. Like I can't see that it would impact in the same way that it does normally.
All right. Okay. Free hit 39 is the perfect strategy, Joss is saying. It's the perfect strategy. And Joe is in. Hey, Joe, how are we doing? Very nice to see you. He's saying, I think Deeney is returning to training tomorrow. So, yes, he will be back on the training pitch.
Well, that'll be really important for Watford.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've talked about the race for the top four. We've talked about relegation. Here are the teams which are in that kind of middle ground. And I probably should have cropped the top of this picture before I put it out on the stream. But Spurs down to Southampton. So what is that?
Hang on. Right.
8 to 14.
What have you done here?
I've put the teams from 8th to 14th who are in that kind of no man's land.
Not
going to get top four.
You are an absolute...
Also not going to get relegated. 8th to 14th. So, all right, we'll put Spurs out of it. Spurs and Arsenal.
Leave Arsenal in it.
Yeah. Burnley, Palace, Everton, Newcastle and Southampton. Should we just be avoiding them point blank?
Burnley, Palace, Everton...
What are they playing for?
Not a lot. They've not got a lot to play for. They've not got a lot to play for. They're not going to win.
This is a quick segment, by the way, because I think the answer is ignore them. I think. Do you agree? I mean, is there any Saints players that you're thinking, oh yeah, they're going to come back full of life to, you know, get the 3 or 4 points they need to be safe? I don't know, they'll get that, won't they? And they'll be fine. Newcastle, 35 points. Bigger and better things going on at Newcastle now than worrying about. I mean, they'll be fine.
They'll be fine, and they're going to have Poch at the helm by the sound of it.
Yeah, possibly. But listen, those are the teams. I didn't want to dwell too much on this graphic because those are the teams that I frankly won't be going in. I won't be going anywhere near Burnley, Palace, probably not Everton. I've got Calvert-Lewin in my team, I think. So I
think I might as well, you know.
Well, anyway,
he can become Kane.
That's a nice segue, because what I'd like to look at now is our teams as they were.
Oh God!
Now, can you remember what your team looked like 3 months ago? I'll put it up on the screen for everybody, but you won't be able to see this from here. So,
put my glasses on.
And it's so small on my screen, I can barely see it myself. But
definitely had Hendo in goal. He'd been there all year.
Henderson, yeah.
Who was in my back line? I know my midfield was KDB, Fernandez, Ali.
Yes, Dele Alli you had, yeah, absolutely.
Cantwell probably still there.
Yeah. You've missed a big name in your midfield. De Bruyne, Ali, Fernandez.
Oh, I had Salah.
Salah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Who did I have up top? Calvert-Lewin, I think.
Calvert-Lewin you had, yeah.
Who were my other two? Oh, the absolute legend that was Jimenez must be in there.
Jimenez is in, yeah.
Who's my other one?
Southampton player.
Oh, Danny Ings.
Danny Ings was in your team, absolutely. Calvert-Lewin, Danny Ings and Jimenez up top.
Well, Kane's coming in there.
A back line of
Lundstram. Trent.
Lundstram, Trent, yes. Wolves.
Holgate?
Yes, Holgate, yeah.
Wolves. Oh, Bolly.
Bolly, yeah. I'd be amazed if you get the last one. Newcastle defender. Lascelles.
Oh, yeah.
You had Lascelles in your team, and of course you had McCarthy to back up Henderson in goal. So there's your team. How are you feeling about that right now? That's your team.
I mean, there's a wild card to be played there.
Yeah, I mean that's a point, by the way. That's something that's been on Twitter quite a lot over the last 24 hours. Are we going to get another wild card so that we can start again?
Genuinely, and this is, I know you're in a different boat to me because you've played your wild card.
Yeah.
But I will be thoroughly peeved if they give another wild card, because I've got mine to use. I've kept it. I could have benefited from using it before. I kept it for a strategy that was for the last few game weeks. It will annoy the hell out of me if they go, everybody have one.
Tell us what you think in the live chat, guys. You think do you think that FPL should give us another wild card?
You a load of free transfers already. You should have used them better.
So to be honest with you, having used my wild card, no, I totally agree with you.
Oh, do?
I totally agree with you. I think it would be pretty unfair, actually.
Yeah.
For those that have opted to use their wild card early, like me, and I only used mine a
couple of weeks before
lockdown. So my team was in a position to go and attack the next few weeks.
So yours should still be okay in theory, because if they put the fixtures out as were, it should still be okay.
It's not looking too bad. We'll come to my team in just a second, but I do agree with you. I think to have another wild card now and start from scratch
would be unfair.
I think is a little bit unfair for those that saved their wild card and waited. Now, and we don't know, by the way, guys. Before you ask, we don't know whether officially FPL is going to take that stance or not. I can see if they did do that, why that would attract people back to the game. Can you see that? Because I think they will want to get people back on the platform playing it.
I just think it makes a mockery of the game if they change the rules of the game.
Yeah, but it would be it's a very casual player thing. It would excite the casual player to say, right, I can start again with my FPL team. I spunked my wild card 3 months ago because the casual player will have done back in January.
Okay, right.
So for them to say, oh, you've got another wild card now, we've got this kind of mini season of 9 fixtures to go, and you can play whichever team you want.
How do they benefit? How do official FPL benefit from getting the casual player back now? Why not just start again next season? They know they'll come back.
What are you talking about? They're going to have loads more people back on the platform playing the game.
But they know that
if they could do that, why would they not?
But because they'll irritate.
They'll irritate the top 1%.
I just think that if you change the rules of the game to add another wild card, it makes a mockery of the entire game and the reason that we all play in the way that we play and the strategies that we put in place. Because the majority of people that take it seriously, and the people that engage with the FPL official on a higher level, like on Twitter and all of that kind of stuff, they're going to come back anyway.
Yeah, let's see. Let's talk about my team before I go to the live chat. I want to hear your thoughts, guys, on should we have another wildcard? Should we start double game week 39 with a wildcard so you can attack this as a kind of mini season? Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. I think we now do want that light on because we're getting to a point where we're a little bit dark. Ping, there we go. So this is my team as was. I couldn't really remember it, but here you go. It's on my phone. So double Liverpool defence. I've gone for Trent and Gomez. I've gone there. Matt Doherty, who was really coming to the fore as an absolute baller. He was playing in that new Nuno Espirito Santo 3-5-2.
Which throws up which positions will Wolves play again, I guess.
There's another conversation we can have nearer the time. But if he does stick to the 3-5-2, then all right, I might go for Doherty. But, are Wolves... what have they got left to play for? I guess they're up there. They could. I mean, they're in the mix, aren't they? They're in the mix. So Doherty could be an all right pick. Yeah, so he's in there. And then I've got obviously Salah, De Bruyne, Fernandes in midfield. I'd pick Sarr as well. Sarr was in there on the back of Watford having some reasonable fixtures, I think, coming up. Aubameyang was in there mainly because of, I think, there was a double game week, which of course never happened.
But you've still got the double.
But the double is now in for Aubameyang, so I'm happy to have him. As is Saka in my 15. So given that Arsenal have a double, I'll keep him. Calvert-Lewin is there, who at the moment looks like a problem. Yeah. To be honest, he looks like a problem. And then I have Jota.
Oh, Jota.
I have Jota.
You got rid of Danny Ings as part of your wild card.
Yes, I did. Well, because remember on my wild card, if you remember all those weeks ago, I remember sitting here with you talking through my wild card and saying, right, I'm preparing for the double, but B, I'm starting to get into sort of end of season territory of having a little punt or two, and Ismaila Sarr and Jota were my kind of educated punts. Now, those punts are looking like a little... who knows now? Who knows? Ismaila Sarr was on form 3 months ago, but I don't know what he's like in lockdown. Maybe he's just been sitting there playing FIFA for 3 months. Is Jota going to come back and rediscover that form that it took him so long to find this season?
And actually, is
he going to pick it straight back up?
And that's another interesting thing, isn't it? Because I obviously follow all of the teams, not just Spurs, on social. And it's really interesting to look at the difference in the way that they are... the stuff that they're putting out. Spurs have been very vocal with the training that they've been doing, this, that and the other. And then you look at other teams and there has been very little in the way of showing what the players are doing, apart from like the players doing their funny videos and stuff that they do.
Yeah.
But so that kind of makes you think, well, what has been going on behind the scenes in certain other clubs?
Okay, yeah. And I've finished up my team with Stevens, so I've got Ender Stevens. Pretty happy about that, actually.
I don't think that's a bad pick.
Double game week coming up. Pretty happy about that. And then Charlie Taylor is my third sub, who I think was bought through price reasons more than anything.
Taylor, anyway.
But yeah, he was all right for me earlier on in the season.
See, I think that team's fine. I don't think that team needs a wild
I'm kind of okay with that. Saka, Aubameyang on the double, Stevens on the double, KDB. I've got my Liverpool players in there. Trent and Gomez and Salah. I mean, a quick word on Liverpool. My view is that
all guns blazing.
Just go. I mean, most of you guys will have, and if we do have another wildcard from official FPL, I think I would still have the same stance: is that go for the free, go for the free, because I do think that I've been looking at a lot of the kind of lockdown videos, particularly since they've been back at training. They seem so, and I know that they're only going to show positive stuff on their YouTube channel. I understand that they're not going to show, Milner's disappointed to be back at training. It does feel very positive. The vibe around the club is, okay, we were working towards something amazing.
Yes.
And the momentum and the emotion of the title challenge was getting to a point. It was reaching a crescendo, and we were two wins away from the lift, everything, the parades, the crowds, and it was going to be mental.
And also, I think even more now, more than before, they will want to do it even more than they did before, if that was possible, because the fans have been so kind of...
Well, so my view is that they obviously want to do it, and as a Liverpool fan, I want them to do it. The emotion is gone now, though. The emotion is gone. So that whole building to a crescendo, that whole, we're in such a groove. We're in such a groove. Every single weekend, we go out there and we play well. All right, we just lost to Atletico, and if you think back now to the circumstances under which that game was played, you might think, oh, well, maybe were the players quite mentally ready? I don't know, was Klopp mentally ready for that game? I remember a clip on YouTube with him not high-fiving fans and saying, put your bloody hands away, you idiots, you know, because he was like, what are you doing? So were we in the right frame of mind for that game? I don't know. Water under the bridge now, we're out. But the emotion leading to the Premier League win, he's gone. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Now, do I want us to go and get the 6 points and win it? Yes, of course I do. But the outpouring of emotion for that 30 years of not winning it, there will still be an outpouring of emotion. But I do believe that the Liverpool fans and the fans that want to celebrate that title win will do so in such a manner that makes sense, right? No, I do. No, I do believe that. I do believe that because I think a lot of the emotion is gone. From the players' perspective, I think from what I can see, they're happy to be back in training. Very happy. You know, Klopp seems happy to have them back. He's said things like, you know, he didn't realise he'd miss it so much. So from an FPL perspective, I think if you've got the 3, I think you're okay. I don't think you need to change that.
No, I don't either.
Even after the 6 points are won. So say we beat Everton and we go on, we beat another team, we get the 6 points. Henderson does the trophy. Do you think once it's won, Liverpool will play, you know, a B team?
Why?
Well, that's my question. I don't think that we will either. I think that we will continue to play and just want to, you know, be as good as we can be this season.
Okay, so there's this other point then that comes into this conversation, doesn't it, with the 2020-21 season, because that's going to start. Now, obviously, that is not going to start on the 7th of August as it was supposed to do originally. It can't, because the players, I mean, the FA Cup final is the 1st of August, I'm pretty sure. Sounds about right, yeah. So, if the FA Cup final is on the 1st of August, they've got to fit in a Community Shield, they've got a pre-season to do. So, there's got to be a limit. Now, it might be that it's September, but if it's September that the new season starts, that's still a very limited, quick window of time for these players. So if I'm Klopp and I've got my Liverpool side that are about to win the league in 2 games' time, they've then got, 8 games to go till the end of the season. Then 4 weeks off and then another start to the season? For me, that's you play. You get them match fit, you get them ready, you do pre-season, then you go back into it again. All right,
Richard Freeman's in. Hey, Richard, he's saying, I think Liverpool will clinch the title. Then they'll rotate and coast throughout the rest of the season. I'm not sure that's the mentality. Richard. I have to say I disagree with you on that one. I think whether there's this thing about, you know, we want to get, you know, 100 points or whether we want to get... I still don't think Liverpool under Klopp doesn't have... There's not a coasting mentality. They don't have a let's put it in neutral and coast mentality. It just doesn't exist. No. It doesn't exist. Let's see what else you guys are saying about Liverpool before we talk about... potential bonus wildcards. Neil's in. Neil Craston, Liverpool to break records if 5 subs are available, which is something we haven't even discussed tonight in terms of the each Premier League game having the ability to make 5 subs. Klopp can rest Salah, Mane, etc. after 70 minutes once the title is won. I don't know, Neil. I really don't know. I think he will want to protect his key asset. So I agree with Neil from that perspective. 70, 75 minutes, maybe that's enough for them.
They've just had 12 weeks rest.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
They've just had 12 weeks off. Do you really think Salah wants to sit on a bench?
But then your point really depends on when the new season is going to start, doesn't it? Yeah. Which we don't know. It completely depends on whether we're going to come out of this season, play 9 games and bang, straight into next season, or whether we are going to have another little break.
Because the other thing we've got to consider, of course, is that they've got to fit in the Euros at some stage. Now, they're talking about...
It's not till next year, though.
But they haven't said when. There's been no clear indication as to when the Euros are going to be in 2021. So that's going to go somewhere. Is that going to go in the summer? If it is, then you need the season to get going as quickly as possible so that then the players are finished and ready to go to the Euros. So there's all of that to consider, and we don't know what that's going to look like yet.
Okay, Jack is saying, thing is, what else are Liverpool going to focus on? Might as well try and get the most Premier League points as possible. J Rich is saying Klopp won't allow it. It's just not part of the mentality. Let's see. Richard Freeman again. Golden opportunity to give the B team some experience. I agree with Richard from that perspective. I do think that there might be... I think a combination...
They had an opportunity when they played in the FA Cup back in December.
A combination of what Neil and Richard are saying there I think makes sense. If Neil's saying, you know, you can bring off Salah and Mane on 70 or 65 minutes... And then Richard is saying you can bring on the likes of Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones for 20 minutes, possibly. Yeah, possibly. Aryan Man 18. Hey, Aryan Man, very nice to see you. He's saying 5 substitutions will be a stinker. I think you're right. From an FPL perspective,
that'll be a disaster.
That's a disaster, isn't it?
For us, that's
it's a disaster for FPL because it's like you're getting so many 1-2 pointers. It's absolutely crazy. Let's scroll back a little bit. Before we sign off, guys, I want to hear your thoughts on the wildcard situation. I've got to try and find out whereabouts in the chat that was. Let's see. Here we go. Daniel Nash, he's saying, hey Daniel, I used my wildcard back in January, first time ever that early that I used it. Definitely there shouldn't be an extra wildcard, he's saying. Definitely shouldn't be an extra wildcard.
I think a lot of players like us will feel like that. I feel like there'll be a lot of people like our mates who just play it for fun, who go, God, I need another wildcard now.
Yeah. And Shashank is here. Hey Shashank, he's saying the casual players, they got a rank of over 3 million anyway, so whether they have a wild card or not doesn't affect you guys at the top 4K. Shouldn't even worry about it.
That's not the point. There will be people in and around the top 4K that have used their wild cards already, and there would be a distinct advantage to them by getting another one.
Okay.
It would take away my advantage.
Okay, Ryan Bird is saying he's been using his transfers, his free transfers, fairly meticulously across the last 10 weeks or so. He's been playing the game properly, so absolutely no.
See, exactly.
Should not be an extra wild card. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay. Gavin Doyle is saying, hey Gavin, how are we doing? He's saying, with all due respect, Lee, F the casual players. It's got to that point, Gavin. We are back. Gavin is back.
Yes.
We're dropping the F-bomb. Absolutely sensational. Brian is here. He's saying, totally agree, Sam, because I saved my wild card for the expected double game weeks coming up. So all those that have spent it shouldn't get a bonus one.
All I tell you is if they announce they're giving another wild card, they better not put me on any official shows that week. Because I will be angry.
Yeah, true. We haven't heard anything on that front, have we, in terms of shows coming back and pods and stuff? I'm sure we'll hear something.
I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we'll hear something. Let's see. FPL telling. So Josh, here he is. FPL aren't just compensating for us, though, are they? They want to keep the casuals involved. They want people on the platform. They want to keep those people happy. I have to say.
No, don't say you agree with Josh.
No, I do. I wouldn't. I don't agree that's the right thing to do.
Josh, did you use your wildcard?
If the official FPL decided to do that, I could see why they would do that. I'm not saying I agree with it. I could say that I could see why they would do it.
I just think it will make a mockery of the game. Wow. I might throw my toys out the pram if it's fit.
Go storming into the next show and just be like...
I will be so annoyed if they do it that I might just quit playing.
What, a 4K?
Yeah, just go sod it, put Kane in and leave it.
Tracy says, we all played our wildcard. We all play the way we play for a reason. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Shouldn't just chuck another free wildcard. That ain't absolutely crazy.
You've already got a load of free transfers.
And Fast Air is saying, no, the noobs don't deserve a wildcard for their poor planning. Fast Air and Gavin properly going in on the casuals.
I tell you what, if they announce a new wildcard, it'd be me, Noobs, and Gavin just going mental.
You and Gavin Doyle on the front line. No new wildcards. No new wildcards. Absolutely brilliant, guys. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. I've thoroughly enjoyed it being back with you tonight.
It's been the best Sunday night we've had since lockdown.
Oh, it's just great. It's been really good fun. So thank you everybody for tuning in tonight.
Are we coming back next week? Are we back forever now?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you guys want us back next week, we're in the swing of it now. We could be back next week. Well, listen, we've got about 2 or 3 weeks until
we've got to be
17th. No, 2 weeks. It's okay. So
the game's going to open. I'm fully expecting the game to open again at some point.
I think this time next week we'll know the wildcard thing will be clearer, whether we'll have one or not.
We know that. It's not happening.
Because you and Gavin will make bloody sure. Yeah, that's it, right. I am. So I think we'll know a little bit more about what FPL might look like when it comes back. I think we'll know a little bit what game week 39 looks like. It's all based on assumptions right now, but I'm pretty sure it'll be a double.
We know it's going to be a double, but we don't yet know what the second part of that double. We haven't had confirmation of the second fixtures in that double. We know the first...
Those 4 teams that are doubling, we know
the cancelled games are in there, but we don't know the others. So I think we should hopefully this week, given it's going to be on the 17th and it is the 1st of June tomorrow, so we've got a couple of weeks, we should get some confirmations from FPL and from the Premier League official. I think now the government have said their bit, that frees the Premier League and official FPL up to say their bit in a bit more detail, doesn't it?
All right, very good. A couple more comments, just so I'll read these out, because I've just loved interacting with you guys tonight. Absolutely brilliant. Sam O'Sullivan, you'll like this. Come back next week. This is better than anything on TV.
Yes!
Yes, Sam. Yes, hit that like button if you enjoyed the stream tonight. Jamie Taylor says, come back next week, but only if Sam can have a taboo on every show.
I think I might need to get another bottle. It's just really nice, and I don't even know where it came from.
And Alexander Todorov is saying, no new wildcard, no new wildcard. There we go, guys. We've got to finish on that, haven't we? We've got to finish on Alexander's no new wildcard. Guys,
I'm going to put out a hashtag no new wildcard.
Hashtag no new wildcard. Guys, thank you for joining us this evening. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Obviously, if you're new around here, if you come over from Let's Talk FPL and you're still interacting with us, that means hopefully you liked what we do here at FPL Family. Make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go. Leave us a like, guys. We love it when you hit that like button. Look out for us again, I guess, next week. We'll be here next week. Maybe with some more funky animations, depending on...
Maybe some more vodka.
How much time I've got. Maybe some more Taboo. Let's see. But as usual, guys...
There's definitely going to be more animations. You're going to be on the animations now.
I'm enjoying the animations.
It's going to be every 5 minutes he sends me another animation.
What do you think of this? Yeah.
Look what I made now.
I'm going to put them on Twitter, guys, and you guys can vote for crappiest animation. There's an idea.
Should we... What, our competition?
Yeah, crappiest animation.
You make one, I'll make one.
Yeah.
See what they like better.
Okay, brilliant. Guys, Thank you very much for joining us. Leave us a like before you go. Obviously, get over to Twitter at FPL Family, over to Instagram at FPL Family. Search Facebook for FPL Families. There you go. You get it in there. Search Facebook for FPL Family. Give us a follow over there as well, and we will see you this time next week then.
Yes.
When hopefully we'll know a bit more about double game week 39. Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining.
Bye, guys.